Flight 6. Yeah, let me just get full screen. Yeah. Alright. Okay, yeah. "3:20 p.m. It should have started by now. I think I just need to refresh. Yep, they're live. I'm so hyped. Flight 6! This is gonna be the first ever launch, and it is going to also be the first daytime ship splashdown, besides the one that was attempted in Hawaii Flight 1, which didn't even make it anywhere. Yeah. This is also going to be the second catch, hopefully. Yeah, propellant load is underway. I hope this can be heard on my stream, but I can't. Yeah, let me just check on my phone. Yeah. Holy shit, that's so cool.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Where's the rocket ship?
It's in Texas.
Oh, nice.
Right now we're live streaming. Kind of.
You said you got a live stream going?
Yeah, there's no one watching it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like a recap thing. Here, I'll send the link. It's on.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I'm about to start baking. I'll be like, watching. Yeah, I'm from Maryland, so we don't have too many choices.
Good afternoon and welcome to the sixth flight test of Starship. It is currently 3:25 p.m. Central Time at Starbase, Texas, and it has been just 40 days since our last launch of the world's biggest rocket. We're targeting our first afternoon Starship liftoff just 34 minutes from now, and that will occur at 4 p.m. Central Time. Now, this timing will bring us daylight views of the ship splashing down on the other side of the world. I'm Kate Tice, Senior Quality Systems Engineering Manager here at SpaceX.
And I'm Jesse Anderson, a Senior Structures Engineering Manager, and we are joining you live from SpaceX Hawthorne. On Flight 5, we promised you maximum excitement, and Starship delivered in what had to be one of the most memorable moments in my time here at SpaceX. Like so many of you, we were in utter shock as we watched that historic booster catch unfold, and we're back today to try and do it all over again. As Kate mentioned, it's been just over a month since Flight 5, making this our quickest turnaround yet between Starship flight tests. Our ultimate goal is to get that turnaround time down to hours.
Following Flight 5, the SpaceX team went to work, immediately implementing lessons learned
fucking
into
chopped
the
Booster 12 in half.
hardware and software systems.
They chopped it in half after it landed.
This is what rapid iteration looks like. We gather real data from these test flights and turn around and fly again as soon as possible.
Honestly, I have no idea what to commentate on. I'm just gonna listen to them.
Starship that will soon be taking us to the moon and Mars.
Flight 5 proved that we can safely bring the booster back to the launch tower, which is a key factor in driving rapid reusability, and land ship with a high precision splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We'll be taking you through today's test objectives in just a moment, but first, let's check in with Dan, who is on the ground just a few miles from the pad at Starbase with the best views. How's it going, Dan?
Hey Jesse, it's going fantastic. I got a couple
Hey,
of my best friends out here
my
ready to
mic
watch this
is
launch and
like
hopefully another
echoing,
today.
so
But
I'm
welcome
gonna
everybody back to Starbase for another Starship launch. I'm Dan Hewitt. Got Launch Control Center right behind me. Tower just about 6 miles over that shoulder. It has been a pretty quiet countdown. Not a lot of
much
chat on
further
those
away
right now
now.
as we are into prop load, and we are counting down to the very top of our window at 4 p.m. Central Time. So
Hell yeah,
just about
4
32
p.m.
minutes from now. Right now, the range is projected to be clear by then. We've got our assets out there making sure land, air, sea, everything around the launch pad, and then our flight path are clear before we give the final go to lift off today. We got through the weather poll. Everything was looking great. A little breezy today, but well within our constraints for both launch and catch criteria. And as you can tell, we're loading propellant onboard the vehicle. You can see those white frost lines starting to tick up as we're putting the cryogenic, the liquid methane, and liquid oxygen out to both of those vehicles. The ship prop load started at about T-minus 49 minutes, and then the booster followed just a couple minutes after at about
There's a
T-minus
tile
41.
going. I assume it's
We're almost
probably
halfway
way
full on
yet
ship,
again.
just about a third on booster. Those
Oh,
are
I
both
gotta
going to
see.
continue
You see on the
until
right,
we're
there's actually a
about
banana
3 minutes,
decal.
20 seconds before liftoff
It's
on
like
ship.
on the
And then
left,
the booster's going to
right.
close out.
No,
at
it's
about
on the
2
right of the
minutes,
ship
50 seconds.
because you can't really see it, but you can see some
We're
yellow
loading
there.
right to that last possible minute, keeping it as dense and cold as possible, and then getting off the launch pad. The countdown startup sequence, everything will look very familiar if you watch Flight 5, assuming you did. But you're going to see the engines start to ignite at about 3
I'm like
seconds before
2 feet away
liftoff.
from my
They're
computer
going to start
because I
out
don't
in
want
3
the mic
different
to echo.
groups. First those center 13, then 15 of that outer ring, and then those final 5 bringing all 33 Raptors online. After that, we'll see about a second later, and then it'll lift off, so a couple seconds from first light until motion. As usual, we can hold at T-minus 40 seconds if we have any last-minute issues to clear, anything with the range, anything that triggers on the vehicle.
Check if it's
And if we pass
to make sure if
T-minus
it's
10
echoing or not
seconds,
still.
the deflector fires, and then we scrub, then we're done for the day for at least 24 hours. But weather is fantastic, light breeze, no clouds in the sky, not tracking any hardware constraints to launch today. If we're not able to get off the pad, though, we've got opportunities
think it's
throughout the
my
week.
mic.
Could be 24 to 48 hours later. But everything looking great. I'm excited to be able to see another one of these get off the pad. Check back in with everybody in just a couple of minutes. Back over to Jesse and Kate.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Now, you could see those 2 towers in the back there in the distance at Starbase. Starbase is really coming along just as rapidly as Starship itself. That second launch tower will be coming online next year, and it will allow us to increase our flight cadence and test even more frequently.
Okay.
And just a few
This
kilometers
might be
away from the
fixed.
2 towers, our cutting-edge 1 million square foot star factory is nearing completion with the goal of producing hundreds of ships a year.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dan.
That might
Now,
sound
you can
crazy,
see
and
those 2
that's because it
towers
is.
in the
If
back
you can
there in the
imagine a
distance
future
at
where we are
Starbase.
flying
Starbase
and
is
catching
really
a
coming
fleet
along
of
just
boosters, which is the lower portion of the vehicle,
It's
that fleet is actually
still bad
pretty
quality,
small
but it'll
compared
work.
to the potentially hundreds of ships, the uppermost portion of Starship, that will be flying in that future vision.
Yeah, exactly, Kate. Those ships will be staying in space for long duration missions to go to the moon or Mars or become tankers for refueling or any number of other uses. But the boosters will come back and turn around to launch the next ship. So in order to hit that production cadence of hundreds per year, we're rapidly building out Star Factory, which is our Starship production facility in Texas.
And live views, not live views, views of that Star Factory there. Now,
I love
this
Star
place
Factory.
allows us to move system integration work earlier in the build process, which means more
I hope
efficiency,
this is
higher
fixed.
quality,
I
and
can't really
ultimately
tell for
faster
sure.
production. Starbase is an incredible
Just as
place to be
rapidly
right
as
now.
Starship
There
division.
really is
Yeah,
nowhere
exactly.
else
But
in the
the
world like it.
boosters will
You
come
know,
back
hint,
into the
hint,
ground
nudge,
supply
nudge.
Now, what you might be hinting at is the good news is we are hiring. If you love what you're seeing, check out our openings at Starbase. On the engineering side, we're looking for vehicle design engineers across structures, propulsion, and integration.
And if you're a hands-on tech, we're looking for integration technicians
yeah, I
and
think it's
welders
somewhat
that can help us
fixed.
hit our goal of building a Starship every 8 hours. And to do that, we
Wow.
need builders.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need a lot of builders to get that down to just 8 hours.
Right?
And those
Now, beyond
butterflies
that,
are
in order to keep
probably dead.
Starbase growing, we have all
Or
kinds
deaf.
of roles, from baristas
Something
to
happened to
HVAC
them.
technicians to EMTs. So chances are, if you're looking, we have a place for you. Visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings.
Every
Yeah, I'm
role is
probably
critical
either
to the
going to be a
future of
pilot
Starship.
or want to
With
work at
Starbase growing
Starbase.
faster
Either way,
than ever,
hell yeah.
we can't do it without you.
This place is where our future is being built, and that is a future that we are all very excited about.
Future
All right, let's dive deeper
of us
into
being
the
on
inner
Mars.
workings of Starship and learn more about this flying skyscraper.
Yeah.
Starship features 2 major parts, the ship, which has 6 Raptor engines, and the Super Heavy booster, which has 33 Raptor engines.
It's super
Now,
heavy
just like
and
flights 1 through 5,
Starship.
the current iteration of Starship is an experimental vehicle flying for development. And with a few planned upgrades, Starship will have 3 times the thrust of Saturn V at 10,000 metric tons of thrust, plus the added benefit of full
I'm gonna see if I
reusability.
get
Starship
close
2
to my
will be
computer
capable of
if
carrying
it
more than
echoes.
100 tons to orbit, and Starship 3 will be able to lift more than 200 tons to orbit. Now, the amount of mass we're able to launch per rocket is crucial to creating a self-sustaining city on Mars.
Exactly. And speaking of launch mass, we should probably acknowledge the elephant, I mean, banana in the room, and our today's secret payload.
Okay, so 2 things here. The first is, remember on Flight 5, we had a giant Mechazilla decal where the banana is today. And there you can see that on your screen. Now, that decal is 3 feet tall, which might be hard to tell looking at it on the ship right there, which is why we have a full-scale reproduction of that decal here with us so that you can see the size compared to humans.
Yeah, it is bigger than you think it is. Like Jesse said, it's 3 feet high, and this is full scale, just like the one that was on Flight 5. Now, it is hard to follow Mechazilla, but I do have one better. Bananas have been used for quick
Yeah.
visual comparisons for quite some time, and our teammates thought it was
It's a
time
little
to bring
echoey.
the venerated yellow fruit to Starship.
Today, we're flying Starship's first ever physical payload, which is, as you might have guessed, is a banana.
Oh
That's
my
a
god,
live view
Starship is
inside
flying a
Starship,
fucking
and if you
banana
look
in space.
closely, you can see
Are they
our
gonna deploy
stuffed
it?
banana payload, which is doubling as today's zero gravity or zero G indicator. And while this payload
I don't
will
know why I
remain
was
inside the
thinking
vehicle
Starlink.
at all times and will not be deployed today, it did give us a chance to do a test run of payload approval processes with the FAA. And that's something that we're hoping to do next year if we start flying our first Starlink satellites on Starship. Godspeed, banana.
Some additional size for context, you can see on your screen a Starlink Mini next to a banana for scale. And to get an even better sense of how big Starship is, let's take the average size banana next to the average size human, which is about 2 meters high.
Classic.
Towering over our average human is the length of the Millennium Falcon, which comes in at 35 meters. Our Falcon 9 rocket with the payload fairing attached is double the size of the Millennium Falcon at 70
What the
meters,
fuck?
and nearly twice the
You
size
won't
of
believe
that
this.
is the fully integrated Starship at 121 meters tall.
It's so
The ship is about
huge.
50 meters, and the Super Heavy booster alone stands 71 meters tall. Now, we do have plans to make the ship and booster even taller in the future.
Block 2,
And
Block
yeah, it might be
3.
hard to
I
imagine
think
that,
even
'cause
a
it's
Block
pretty
4
big
model
already.
came out.
Now,
Block
Starship's
4
first
was
stage
so
has a
cursed, I
diameter
hated
roughly
it.
2.5 times that of Falcon
Ooh,
9,
Raptor
and
view.
as you can see on your screen, with 33
I really
much
want
larger
Raptor ignition
engines.
view.
I love this view. This is looking up at the aft end of Starship there at the engine bay. Now, moving up the rocket, the ship
We better get
features
some
6
good camera
Raptor
views this
engines,
flight.
3 sea levels, and 3 vacuum engines, which are optimized to operate in the vacuum of space. The ship is designed for vertical takeoff and landing on any hard surface, like the surface of the moon, for example. This ship is also outfitted with 4 flaps to help aerodynamically control the
4
vehicle's
flaps
attitude
is.
during
I actually
atmospheric
heard
flight and enable a
um
precision landing.
future
To reach full
blocks of Starship
reusability,
are
the ship
actually
must
only going to
survive
have 3
re-entry
grid
not
fins,
just once, but
which
multiple
sounds
times. It
horrific,
took the teams at
but
SpaceX
apparently
about
it's more
3 years to
efficient.
develop the heat shield on Starship, and development for improvements is still ongoing. The ship's heat shield is composed of thousands of hexagonal ceramic tiles designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry, where temperatures can be as high as 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit or over 1,400 degrees Celsius. The tiles are something we iterate on every flight test as we build towards a heat shield requiring no refurbishment between flights to unlock rapid reuse.
And
23
the teams
minutes.
have actually already begun testing the heat shield tiles in environments simulating Mars atmospheric entry conditions, which we'll see more of in just a few minutes. You know, slightly different than coming back to Earth.
Just slightly different.
Slightly different
And in
than our
between the first
atmosphere.
and second stages is our hot stage, which we saw in action
gotta
on
love
flights 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's recap that last flight to understand what we accomplished and how that's changing for today's flight.
Oh boy.
On October 13th, Starship successfully lifted off at 7:25 a.m. Central Time from Starbase, Texas. A gorgeous sunrise ascent that was fairly quickly followed by the hot stage separation maneuver, which we see here,
Flight
as
2
well as on
anniversary
multiple
was
previous
actually
Starship
yesterday.
flights.
1 year
The
anniversary.
booster then
It's actually
performed a
crazy
flip
to think
maneuver,
about.
boost back burn, and then we jettisoned that hot stage, which you see there. The booster then performed its boost back burn, which brought it back on a trajectory
Absolutely
to
wild
the
transition.
launch tower back to the Gulf Coast. We can see here the booster descending through the Earth's atmosphere. It broke the sound barrier again as it was coming back through. Those Raptor engines relit, and then the moment that made us all lose our minds, the
I lost my mind
booster
too.
came back for a
I still can't
successful
find
first
it.
ever catch by the chopstick
What a
arms
knee
back
slapper.
at the exact same launch tower that it launched from. It was insane. As you can see, we all went bananas. And you did too, probably. Thousands of distinct vehicle and pad criteria had to be met, and thanks to the tireless work of the entire Starship team, we succeeded on that first attempt.
And while that all was
Yeah, that
happening, ship was
splashdown was
continuing
actually
to
wild.
coast
We're
towards the
actually gonna
Indian
see
Ocean. It executed
day landing, so
an
hopefully they
excellent
have buoy
coast,
cams
made
on.
its way down through re-entry, relit
And that's when
its
the
engines,
thrust
did
hits the
that flip
water.
maneuver, relit its engines for landing
And
burn,
then
and then splashed down into the Indian Ocean. Now that whole flight test concluded, that splashdown 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 40 seconds after launch.
Starship's fifth flight test was one of our most ambitious yet, and as we work to demonstrate techniques fundamental to Starship and Super Heavy's
I don't doubt
fully
that we'll
and
be on
rapidly
Mars by the
reusable design.
late
And I think I
2020s.
speak for
Not
all of us
men,
when I say
just
that seeing the catch
ships,
for the first
tests,
time was an
something
extraordinary
like
moment for
that.
the
But
entire
we might have a
SpaceX
man
team.
on Mars
We've
by the
seen a
mid
lot of wild
2030s.
firsts
I don't
here,
know.
but that was truly
That's
an
just
epic
what
moment in
I'm
time.
estimating. I have
We're
no
not predicting that
not based
anytime
off any
soon.
real
Certainly
real
one in
data
the
or
history
whatever the
books.
fuck.
Now, today's mission profile is very similar to Flight 5, but there are some differences that we've
Well, let's
made,
hear.
that we've incorporated as we prepare for future weeks. About 20 minutes from now, Super Heavy will ignite its 33 Raptor engines and lift off from Starbase.
Whee!
About 2.5 minutes into flight, the booster will separate from the ship in a hot stage separation, and we've seen that occur on multiple flights, including flight 2, 3, 4, and 5. About 2 seconds after that
Hell yeah.
burns, we'll jettison that hot stage. The booster will perform its flip and boost back maneuver. And we will once again look to return the booster to the launch site for a catch by the tower's chopstick arms. And once again, we will only attempt that if both the booster and tower are healthy after launch. We were successful last time, but we should emphasize that this process is still very new. And this is still just a test, so success is very far from guaranteed today. It's always a possibility
off
that
the
we'll lose
coast
the
of
vehicle. It's a
Australia and the
contingency
Indian
that we always plan
Ocean.
for.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. Now, while the booster is doing its job, the ship's 6 engines will remain lit for a few minutes before shutting down and then going into the coast phase. The ship will coast for a total of about 40 minutes or so, reaching a peak altitude of approximately 213 kilometers. Now, one additional
Keyboard, I don't
objective
want to
for
listen
this
to the
flight
app,
during coast
but I
is
can't
an
really get
in-space burn
close
using
and play
one of
games
ship's Raptor
because
engines.
then I'd have to
Doing
mute
burn
it
while
or
in
else it'll
space will build
echo,
confidence
which
that we
is
can do
really
deorbit burns,
annoying.
which is a key
I think it's still
capability for
echoing a
upcoming
little bit
orbital
now,
missions.
but still,
Now, after the coast phase, the ship will attempt a controlled re-entry,
I need to
and
have
if
headphones
ship
at some
makes it
point.
all the way down, we'll once again perform a flip and landing burn before splashing down in the in the Indian
Yeah,
Ocean.
we're gonna have a day
Now,
landing.
there are some notable changes to our entry plans for this flight, and they will intentionally push the ship to and very likely beyond its limits. This includes several thermal protection upgrades and operational changes as we prepare for future ship catch and reuse.
That's good.
Today's flight test will also test new
Reentry is gonna be
secondary
hella
thermal
stressful.
protection
I heard
materials,
about
and
that.
entire sections of the heat shield has actually been removed in certain areas.
Oh,
And
fuck
on
no.
top of all of that, we're going to fly the ship at an aggressive angle of
Wow.
attack once it's moving slower than the speed of sound.
Now,
Whoa.
this means we'll be flying nose down instead of our usual belly flap orientation during final descent. This will no doubt stress the limits of the
dumbass.
flap's ability to maintain control, but it will be a chance
Hello,
to get
Daniel.
real flight data on what our limits actually are.
So, to
Wow,
put it as
shocked you
bluntly as
called me,
possible,
my real
do not
name
be
for
surprised
once.
if this
Usually
is
I have
not a
nicknames
That's
for
smooth
literally
flight to
on your
splashdown today.
Discord.
We are intentionally looking for how
Yeah,
far
but you
we can
usually
push
call
and
me something
discover
else,
the
like
vehicle's
middle
true
brother
limits as
or
we plan
whatever.
for future ship return and catch.
And even though ship recovery is not expected
I'm like
today,
live
the
streaming
telemetry
right
and
now. It's
data
just your
we
voice.
receive all the
So
way to the
I
end
hope you
is
don't
what
care
we're looking
about that.
for and what will help us get to a rapidly
Oh, I
reusable
don't
starship
care in
of
the
the future.
slightest.
So
Alright.
just
Sounds
like Flight 5,
demonetized,
one of
though.
our objectives for Flight 6 is attempting to return the booster to the launch site to be caught by the tower. The booster for this flight has upgrades to add redundancy across its propulsion system, increase the structural, as well as increasing the structural strength in a few spots.
So, how's the
We've
stream
also
going?
implemented a few changes
no
across both
viewers.
ship and tower to try and speed
Classic.
up
No one
post-catch
likes to
timelines.
watch you anyway.
Returning
know, right?
vehicles to the launch site leverages the same hardware that we use for
No one
stacking
watches
launch
me either,
sites,
don't feel
keeping
bad.
our infrastructure multi-purpose.
Yeah, it's real.
And in order for us to achieve that rapid reusability that we keep talking about, we need a quick turnaround. And you can't get much faster than returning the launch vehicle right back there to where it needs to launch
I made
from
something
again.
funny.
Exactly.
I'm gonna send
In
this
this video,
for
you can
GMs.
see our original render of booster
I
catch
don't know if I
alongside
sent
the
this
actual footage
elsewhere,
of catch
but
from Flight 5.
Is there any
This
way you could
video
like turn your
is
mic
just
up?
mind-blowing to see the
Or I don't know if my
predictable
laptop is this shitty. Yeah, there we
and
go.
just like the last flight for today's booster catch, there are thousands of criteria that need to be
Hello.
met to proceed with test. Automated checks have to indicate we have a healthy booster.
It's
and
also
a
probably
healthy
because I'm
booster.
facing
Flight
away
test
from my
is
microphone.
through a manual command, which is
Yeah.
informed by manual
turning
checks
my
from the
head.
flight control team.
That's
If this
real.
command is not sent prior to the completion of the boost back
Yeah,
burn,
I just
or if
learned that
automated
they're
health
flying
checks
a
show
banana in the
unacceptable
cargo
conditions
bay.
with superheavy or the tower, the booster will default
Yeah,
to
I
its
found that out
trajectory
too. I
that
found
is
that
set to a
fucking
landing burn
hilarious.
and soft splashdown
Yeah.
in the Gulf of Mexico.
I remember when
It's
we
only
first
SpaceX
heard
that-
the call
Hey,
out
listen,
that
what
Tower
happened to
was
the
go
ball of
for catch
cheese?
on Flight 5,
Idea.
and wow,
They
I
found
still
out
get
that the
goosebumps when
cheese
I
might
think about that moment.
explode
Now,
during
for today's
re-entry,
test, just like
so
Flight 5, we're only going to catch
they
if
didn't put the
everything on the
cheese.
booster and the tower checks out. After
Yeah,
launch.
but you
As
know,
always,
just,
we
like,
accept
put it
no
in a
compromises
container,
when it comes to the safety of
and
the
that would
public
contain the
and our
blast for the
team.
most part.
And so to that end,
For the
area
most part,
around
it'd
the
make
pad
it even
and the flight
worse.
path are
It'll
cleared
puncture
in
the
advance.
A lot of
thin
things
metal
have to go
sheets
right in
that
order to
Starship
line up the booster
uses to
catch.
even
So if all
survive.
criteria is met, we will attempt to catch, but there is a chance that we may not. Either way, we'll
Put
be
it
getting tons
in a
of
fucking
in-flight data
container,
and
and
extreme
it'll be
evaluation.
fine.
Oh, my,
Exactly.
um,
That first catch was pretty epic, though. So,
yeah, I can't
like you,
wait. They're
we'll be
doing
keeping
another
our hopes
catch
high to
attempt.
see another one this afternoon.
And
Now, Dan,
I'm most
you got
excited
to
for
see
the
it in
day
person last
splashdown. We'll
time.
get to see a lot
Are you
more.
mentally prepared for a
If
possible round two?
I
S31
mean, probably
survives
not.
re-entry.
That was pretty hands down the
I don't know
coolest thing
about
I've
that.
ever seen.
It
and
will.
The fact that we're gonna do that
It
every
might.
time
I feel
now
like it will.
breaks my brain a little
It
bit.
will.
I think
but
I
was
think it'll be
absolutely
crippled
incredible.
like
One of the
S29.
unique aspects with Super Heavy coming back is it does
Well, I
generate
feel
a
like it's gonna
cyclical
be
this is
burn
something
through
not only
nonetheless as much
associated
as
with reusable
with this version
spacecraft, it's
of
just it's coming
Yeah.
in
Starship.
faster
There's
than
always
the
burn
speed of
through.
sound and then slowing down. It creates that pressure wave that builds up. And then when it reaches you on the ground, that rapid change
On
of
the
pressure is that
forward
quick
flaps
thunderclap
mainly.
sound that you hear. Now, generally, the only
Like,
effect is that
Starship
thunderclap.
is
Last
like
time it was not
actually.
nearly as
Thunderclap
bad
sound.
though.
But
Yeah,
if you're not
Starship is
expecting it,
actually
it's definitely
starting
gonna
to
get your
work
attention, and
though,
we were
which
able
is
to hear it
actually
last
kind of
time.
crazy to be honest.
The impact of or how loud it is changes pretty dramatically.
Mm.
In this video, you can
Something
see
I
the
find very
difference.
impressive is that
And there was
it's able
kind of
to
a
literally
triple pop
say
speed
goodbye,
that was picked
quarter
up close
flap,
to the
and
pad,
still
doesn't
make it
pull at our
to the
distance,
landing
fade
burn.
away. you're only going to hear one
Yeah.
or two as they're happening kind of so
Yeah,
on
we
top of
saw
each
that
other
on.
that it might just sound like one big
I think
bang.
it was
But
flight
as I
4.
say, that's
Yeah.
something that's only associated with
Yeah.
spacecraft.
Yeah, because
being
we saw
reused.
like
We
one
hear
of the
Falcon
entire
9, we heard
flaps
it during
just
shuttle,
snap off on the flip
and
maneuver,
looking forward to hopefully
which
hearing
was
it
hella
today.
funny, to be
Just a
honest.
quick
Well,
status check,
bend
though, we're about
bend
85%
off, and
full
then
on ship,
during
almost two-thirds of
splashdown
the
it
way
fucking
full on booster,
ripped
continuing to
itself
count
off.
down. About
Yep.
13 and a half minutes, a little under that until
I don't
we
know
lift
about the
off
other
today.
flap. It
But
probably did
still
the same,
looking
to
good.
be
I'll check
honest.
back in with you guys for a few
Yeah,
minutes,
yeah, all the
just in
flaps were
case.
damaged on flight 4.
Thanks, Dan.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Dan said it really well.
I'm
when
feeling
it
like
really
we're
doesn't
gonna
mean
be
to think
we're gonna
that
be on
this
Flight
is
Mars
going to
5,
be
Flight
the
5
norm.
had only
That this is
Flight
just the
5
beginning.
only had
Every one
at
of
least
these
one
flights is a
spot
step
that burnt
closer to
through
a fully
on one of the
operational
forward
starship that will
flaps.
take
None of
us
the
beyond
aft
Earth.
flaps were burnt through.
And with our
Yeah, I
pace of
feel like we're gonna
rapid
be on Mars
iteration
by
here,
the
the moon and
late
Mars are not
2020s. I'm not
nearly
saying
as far in
people,
the
but
future
there's
as
gonna
you
be
may think.
ships and
In
other
fact,
shit
we're
on
planning
there.
to send starships to
Just
Mars
preparing.
as soon as 2026.
Well, they plan on doing their
Mars transfer window opens,
2026
which is under
shot,
2 years from now.
Yeah,
which is
I don't know
pretty
how
realistic,
well
actually.
2026 is gonna
there on
go,
your
but we'll
screen.
see.
It's an iconic
Oh, they're talking
representation
about
of
it
the
now.
Mars transfer orbit, also called the Hohmann transfer orbit. This
And
transfer
then
window,
2020, it's
between
either
the time when Earth and
2026 or
Mars are closest to each
2028.
other, opens
And
every
then,
26
depending
months,
on
and
that,
some
it's
opens for
either
about 2 to 3 months at
2028
a
or
time for a
2030
vehicle to start
that
to
has
power.
crew.
Lining
I'm
up a
saying
launch to Mars is
that
similar to
I'm
how
thinking
we
2030
I
or
still feel like
2032.
2030.
where we time the
I'm
launches
saying
to
I
match
feel
the
like
station's
2030 or
orbit. If we
2032.
didn't do this, we would need more propellant and more time
I'm saying
to get there.
2030.
So the first
But
opportunity
honestly,
to
we could
fly
both be
Starship
wrong.
to Mars, we plan to go
I
for
don't
it.
know.
These first flight tests to Mars will be uncrewed and will test
Depends how fast they make their crude
Those landings
version.
go well. The first
Yeah,
crewed
I don't know
And
how
flights
fast
verify
that's gonna
everything.
go,
follow
seeing
after
how
that.
HLS
Right
is
now,
going.
our flight tests are focused on proving out reusability.
Well, it's also
of
because
both
they're still
super heavy
developing the
and
ship.
Starship. In 2025, we'll
That's
continue
true.
that focus while also potentially flying our first Starlink missions
Block
and demonstrate
4
capabilities
is
I mean,
similar to
HLS is gonna.
taking astronauts to the moon.
Wait, was it 3 or
HLS is
4?
technically V2.
Starship will be used to land
Yeah, did
astronauts
Block
on the lunar
4 exist
surface
yet, or
on
was it
NASA's
Block
Artemis
3 that
3
was
mission,
horrific?
which will put the first
Three,
humans
three,
on the moon
three.
since
Yeah,
1970.
3 is
4 will
horrific.
exist at
One
some
key
point.
It's like
capability will be the ability to
3
fucking
is
refuel
such
Starship in
ginormous.
orbit, which you can see there on your
It's like
screen.
500
Starship
feet
product
tall.
tanker
It's
docked
way
with
too
a fuel
skinny.
depot. Next year, we're planning to test this capability,
No, it's
or
not. It's
capability by
fine.
launching 2 starships,
way
My
landing them
question,
on
though,
Mars
with
to
that,
transfer tons of cryogenic propellants.
it
Now, when the
will
time
work,
comes to
but
land on
here's
the
my
moon,
question.
Starship will
How
link
the
up with
fuck's the
NASA's
landing
Orion
burn gonna
spacecraft
happen
on
with
lunar
that?
orbit, where
I
astronauts will
don't
They're gonna
know.
have to
transfer
start
for their
The
descent.
flip
little.
maneuver is gonna
Now,
happen,
once
and then the
on the
ship
lunar surface,
splits
they'll
in
ride
half.
the elevator down in their Axiom EMU spacesuits from Axiom Space and leave the first footprints on the moon in more than half a century,
Oh
kickstarting
my god,
humanity's
looking
mission
at
to establish a
NSF, and I just
sustainable
see
presence there.
Lamau TSC is gonna be
And coming
pissed.
soon to a moon base alpha near you,
I don't know what the fuck they're
Starship
talking about
Enterprise
right now.
Edition.
Yeah,
But
That is
I think it's
so
ship
exciting,
tw-
and
I
all the
don't talk to
advancements that are gonna
Ship
be
TSC. I know
26 that
Julian
they're talking.
does.
enable all of that. Now, our rapid iterative development approach
I
has been
think
the
TSC
basis for
blatantly
all of
ignores me.
SpaceX's major innovative advancements, including
Well, I can
Falcon,
only wonder why.
Dragon, and
Yeah,
Starlink.
that's true. I
Today
think
we're
I've been
testing
on
There's
VC
mul-
with him in the
systems,
group
and
chat like
we need
once.
to know how they perform under the most extreme conditions.
Let's be totally
What's more
honest.
extreme than
You're
the flight
massively
environment?
annoying.
We'd
can
much
just
rather find the
accept
bugs
Yeah, I
and
know
limits
I am.
From
now
time to
during
time.
testing than later on when there's more on the line.
You're the class
And to
clown.
reiterate, while we
No,
do
I'm the class
determine
clown who isn't funny.
an acceptable level of technical risk under a
Barely.
vehicle
Everybody,
and pad
the
to
class
learn as
clown
fast
that
as
gets
possible,
bullied
we accept
into a
no
goal.
compromises when it comes to the safety
Yeah.
of the public or our team.
It's
So all that to
actually
say,
kind of sad
this
every
is
single
only the
time I
sixth
see a
of many future
conversation
flight tests of
between you,
Starship before it
Julian, and
becomes
Owen.
fully operational.
I know, right?
And we tend to do our
I
testing
kicked them out of my
in the
server because
open,
they were
just
being
like today.
assholes.
And that means people sometimes see when our hardware doesn't perform as
We
we
should
planned
invite them
during
back,
that
though.
testing.
Let's be
And
totally
I
that's
kicked them,
okay,
but I didn't
Makes
ban
because
good
them.
this is
entertainment.
exactly what we are testing for, to physically
Kick them.
see
So I
if
sent the
hardware
link to
performance
like
matches
everyone
what we
anyways.
expect it to do or not. Even
So,
more with today's test
Please
flight,
explain
where
while we're still waiting.
pushing the ship beyond
A
its
good
limits.
few minutes rockets here until liftoff.
Also being aided by
What
Starlink
the hell are you
space
even trying to do?
connectivity.
And
You might remember
with
the
this
Starlink
said
panels that are
project?
incorporated into Starship, and you can see
Oh,
them there
yeah,
on
we're
your
making
screen.
like a
Rectangular panels
liquid
on Starship's
fueled
nose cone.
rocket-ish.
Starlink
It's
brings us
not
the
like
epic
big.
views in
It's
space
kind
and
of
on
like a tiny
re-entry,
little
and also
prototype
helps
thingy.
deliver us
We
critical
have
flight
the
data
engine
and
So
kind of
you're
done.
so you're making an
Starlink continues
you're
to
making
help
an
us to push the
NASA
limits
rocket.
in space
And
in the
shit
short
is
term
the
by
thing.
providing great views and real-time data.
Maybe like a
on our
little
next few
hopper,
flights,
but I don't
particularly
know.
through re-entry, which spaceflight veterans know
We
that is
have like
historically
the engine
a period of
done-ish.
blackout
We still need
for
the
all
combustion
communications within
chamber,
spaceflight.
and
Outside
we
of
need to build the
Starship,
test
What,
stand.
Starship has
CSE doing
helped
this?
people across
No, it's
the
Victor.
globe,
Victor's
particularly
doing
in
it.
rural and remote areas that have been underserved by traditional broadband internet.
Yeah, and soon
Me
Starship
be
will
like,
deploy our next
stage 1
generation
propulsion
Starlink
is.
satellites, which will continue to increase our capability to connect even more people with high-speed internet all around the world and beyond.
Solids, kind of no knowledge.
Now, as we
Liquids,
continue to prepare
good luck.
for our next several flight tests,
I have
we
a little
know
bit
a
of
few.
knowledge
a
on this,
cryo-proof test of the
all
Starship
types.
for Flight
Like
7.
the least
Our
amount of
first
knowledge I have
operation
is
with
with
the vehicle
liquids,
debuting
but
a
I
number
got the
of
basics
major
down.
milestones.
He's doing all
The
the
ship has
math
been
and all the
stretched
fucking
to make room
simulations and
for
shit.
larger propellant tanks, increasing the propellant capacity from 1,200 tons to 1,500 tons. The
I
forward
remember
flaps
when they
also
still
got
had vertical
redesigned. They
tanks.
have shrunk in size and they also shifted in location.
Something I find
And
a
both of
little
these things will
crazy
help
is
better
that
protect
our
during entry heating while still providing control.
Donald
There's
Trumpy
also a wide
Wumpy
range of upgrades
is
that will make the
at
vehicle more
service.
reliable, adding redundancy to and the ability to operate for longer durations in space.
This
One
is like
unique
the only
aspect of a
time I've
trip to
ever cared
Mars
for
are the different
politics. It's
conditions ship will
either
see
World
when
War
entering the
III or
Martian
Trump.
atmosphere. Now, it's
I'm
difficult
gonna
to
say it
simulate
like
Mars'
that
Listen.
because
atmosphere when
Trump
re-entering on
actually
Earth,
has
so we've been testing a
plans
variety of heat shield materials
to
inside a
like
specialized plasma jet
lower
chamber at the
the
University of
fucking
Illinois Urbana-Champaign,
what's
where
it
we're
called?
able to more
Lower
closely
like the
simulate
risk
Mars's
of
95% carbon
fucking
dioxide
nukes.
atmosphere.
Aside from looking awesome,
That,
this
yeah,
is
that
important
that's a
testing.
thing.
The intense heat of
I mean,
entry will
he's always
cause
had
CO2
that. He
break down
hates the
into
word
its base
nuclear.
elements, exposing
Biden
to
and
atomic
Harris
oxygen,
are
which increases
escalating
surface
everything.
heating and
They've
can cause
literally
materials to
allowed
oxidize
Ukraine to
or
send
start to break
missiles
down.
into Russia,
Spacecraft entering
but
over Mars
like
encountered more than
Trump
twice
doesn't
the
want
Oh, yeah.
amount
any
of
of this, and
atomic
he actually wants
oxygen
the
at
war
their
to end. And
when
he's
compared
already
to
made a
Earth.
deal with
And that is
Putin to end
certainly a
it once
unique
he's in
challenge.
office,
As we continue
which
to
is
test,
already
we'll
crazy
learn
to be
about what makes
honest.
a great heat shield for Mars.
Yeah.
All right, now that we're heading
Crazy
into the final
conversation to
minutes
jump
of
into.
the countdown, let's go back to
Yeah.
Dan for the latest on the ground there at
Anyways, we're
Starbase.
6 minutes 20
Hey,
seconds
Kate,
till liftoff.
afraid I have nothing but good news for you. We have
Yeah, my
What's
soul's
going on,
range
guys?
safety
What's
team.
up?
We
Uh,
are a little over 90%
we were just
full on
talking
ship,
quick
almost
politics, and then
85% full on booster, and not tracking any
What
holds
is
for an
up,
on-time
Mason?
liftoff. So
Zim
we've got about 3
zam.
more minutes of
Exactly.
prop load. As long as the range stays clear, we don't trip any other holds. We might blow right past that T-minus
How you
47
been,
mark
Jackson?
and lift off right at the
I've
top
been
of our
okay.
window at 4 p.m.
I'm like
7
live
Wait,
streaming right now.
Toss it back to you guys one more
you
time.
still
That part
living
about to
where you
start.
lived
We
before,
are,
or what?
a little under 6
No,
minutes
I'm
away
with my
from launch.
grandparents now.
All right, so we are
Wait,
continuing
why?
to
What happened?
progress now. 5 minutes and 33 seconds until
I'll explain
liftoff.
later
Huh?
once
Once we
I'm
pass
like
the T
done
minus 40
streaming.
second mark, a number of events are going to occur in
What's
rapid
up?
succession.
Awesome.
The ground spin and ignition systems will
wow,
go into flight.
SpaceX's stream
ship
has
will
it.
go on
You
to
can see
internal
clear
power.
ahead
And then after that, a quick
from the
Yeah,
disconnect
it's
drone
actually
shots to
crazy.
South
I'm pretty-
Padre.
Lockout is
Is that
removed in preparation
Massey's?
for retraction shortly after T0.
What?
And once we pass the T
Is it
minus
Massey's up
40
there?
second mark, we still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions
Where?
back
What?
to T minus
Huh?
40
Never
seconds,
mind.
and then hold
They've
there to
switched
assess
cams.
what happened and if we can proceed again
We have
to T0.
5 minutes,
Exactly.
and everything is
However,
currently go.
once the water for the deflector system begins flowing at T
For now.
minus 10 seconds,
Here,
any issue
Daniel,
after
share
that
your
would be an
screen so
automatic
Mason
scrub for
can
the
watch,
day,
or
as
unless
the
he
teams
left
would need
already.
to refill the deflector's water tanks
Sure.
as well as the
Yeah,
propellant
share your
storage
screen
tanks
so
over
Mason
at
can
the tank
watch.
farm before we're able to make
Wow.
another attempt.
No, you should really watch
bad.
It's
Mason.
just so unbelievable that it's just
I mean,
been
I'm
a
watching
little
NSF
over a
and then
month,
flipping back
and
and
we
forth
are just a
between
few minutes away from
Interstellar
Flight
Gateway
6.
because you should 100%
The crowd
subscribe
here
to
is building up. We've got a
I
much
was
larger
cooking
crowd
in the
here
gym.
than when we
My
were
whole body hurts.
launching at 4 or 5
I
times
can't
a
even
day
sleep
out
because
here. So
I'm
very
really
excited to
awake
have an
and it's making me
Womp
really
womp.
afternoon launch to have all the employees here.
Exactly. Now,
I
just
wanna
as a
sleep.
reminder, that
can't.
T minus 40
I
second
can kind of understand
hold,
that pain.
if we
What's going on
opt
here?
to use it,
What is this? This is a rocket
everything
ship?
Starship,
is still
yeah.
potentially go for
It's the
launch. So nothing to be
tallest,
worried
most
about
powerful
there.
rocket ever
At that
made,
point, basically, up
and
until T
after
minus
it
40
launches,
seconds,
it's
all
gonna
our bullets
land
are
back
just
on the
holds.
launch pad.
This would
It's
allow
gonna
the team to
it's gonna
make
land
successful
back into
successful
JFC's
engines, avionics, vehicle pressurization.
He has no idea what
range,
Starship
weather.
even
Occasionally
is,
we've
so
had
we need to
triplets
like
lingering
explain
in
in
the past,
toddler
but
terms.
that doesn't sound like
Great.
that is the case today.
Yeah, not today, no
Toddler
throughputs,
terms,
which is great.
non-existent in
Everything's
the
so clear,
Starship.
It's looking good. We're getting really excited
Okay, we have
here. Just
three
And
minutes.
literally,
We're gonna go
every
back.
single
45.
April,
3
every
minutes,
single time I
45
try to
seconds.
explain it,
How's it going, Dan?
every single time I try to explain the
It is
Starship program
still
to
going
anybody,
great.
especially
It's
like
coming up
my
about 3.5
grandma or
minutes
anybody,
away, so
she's
we
like,
should be done with our
I have
upload
no
on
idea what
ship
the fuck you
momentarily.
just said,
In about
but I'm
30
just gonna
seconds
go
later, we'll
along with
close
it.
out on booster.
I don't understand
Our
anything
flight
about space,
control
but
team
space is
on
cool.
board or in the
Space
building
is
just
cool.
behind
Let's
me,
throw you
not on board.
into
Some
an
of them went with
astronaut
their
suit
Space is
and
a big-
chuck
flight
you
control
at the
team in the
ISS.
building
Space is a
behind me.
big
They're going
hell
to have a
yeah.
lot of work to
Pretty
do
cool,
right
man.
after we lift off.
Well, we should
As
first of
we still
all
have a
send
lot of
all
manual
flat
checks that
earthers
happen
up
on the
into space
tower
first.
prior to the
100%.
flight director, who's
Send
going
the
to be
first
Tristan
million to
Pearson,
Mars
today,
is first
giving you
million
manual
flat earthers.
commands to
We're-
bring the booster back to
We're
launch
gonna
site.
send all of
And
them
we have- the
without
tower
any
did
oxygen.
just
Can't just
incredibly
spacesuits,
well
okay?
on the
Oh,
See how
last
they
flight.
fare.
We didn't
3
lose
minutes.
any of our
Oh,
required
onboard
redundancy
cams.
for our
Onboard
catch.
cams.
So we're hoping to see that again today. A lot of the
You know,
team,
weirdly, it doesn't
you know,
feel like a Starship's
really
lifting
putting
off
armor
because
on
it's
the
so
tower,
late.
making all those
Today
things work.
felt like a normal
Played a
day.
huge role
I'm
in
not
making
even
that
gonna
catch
lie.
possible, and looking forward to hopefully
I
seeing that
literally
happen
went
again.
down to the
And
coastline
of course,
today to
sending
kill
our
off
first payload
time.
to
That's how
space.
bored I
You can see the
was.
banana. It's
Dude,
very tightly secure,
this is
but
gonna be
I assure you,
so
it does have some
cool.
room
I
to
want
float around.
how the
So once
banana
we're
is like
in
gonna
a zero
survive
gravity environment, we should
during the
see
entire like
Fucking
all the
Starship
rip
speed
off.
forces put
gravity
on it.
indicator
I
putting
wonder
on
if
a
it's
little
gonna
bit of
like
a
fall
show.
out of the string.
And that's looking right in. That's where we're going to have Starlinks. That's our PEZ deployer.
The more
so
and more
getting
you
its
say
ride to
that,
space.
the more
So,
sus it sounds.
coming up in about 2.5
Shut up.
minutes, we
No.
are closing out on all of our prop load.
Are
You
they
know,
gonna
just
deploy
you-
it
our
in
fill
orbit,
drains are
or-
starting to
or are they
close, so
gonna
that means
like
we're no longer
re-enter
going to
with
be
it?
flowing propellant into the booster and the ship.
No
We're
idea.
gonna
I
do
think
what's
they're gonna
called
just
pushback.
re-enter with it.
So
If
all
it
of that
explodes, it
propellant
explodes.
in the
But
ground
a
I don't-
system
banana
is
is a
gonna get
banana.
pushed
It's not
back
gonna
to
really
the
do
tank
much.
to
Because
clear
I
out
don't
everything
think they
around the
have like
pad
a mechanism
right
to
before we
deploy a
light
banana
those
in orbit.
33 engines and take off.
No, no. Well,
Just
it's attached,
quick
so
reminder, you're
finally,
gonna
I don't
see
think it's
fire
going
start at the
anywhere.
bottom. You're going to see the deflector
Yeah.
start at about 10
Fucking
seconds before
banana
launch.
gets chucked out the
Lots of water to help dissipate all that heat, all that sound, and then the engine starting up in 3 different
Alright, we have
groups.
1 minute
Oh,
40
I just
seconds
saw.
to
Second
lift
out
I
off.
just saw in
we
chat.
should see
I just
liftoff.
saw in chat. Zero
About
G indicator.
2.5
It's a banana.
minutes into the flight, a little bit longer, we'll see hot staging, and that's when we're going to be listening really close on those loops
Okay,
to see if
seriously, it
we're going
feels
to
so
booster
fucking
back
weird.
for a catch.
We're down
Do
to
always want to
1 hour.
caution.
It's
It's
1 hour,
never a
1 minute.
guarantee.
What the
We've
fuck
done
am I
this
saying?
once. We'll see if we do it again. We're only going to do it if the booster and the tower
Alright.
Here
are
we
looking really good.
go.
1
Before
minute
we
and
attempt
10
to bring it back
seconds.
here.
Final minute.
Coming up on a
Alright.
minute, not tracking
Wow.
any holds.
Hopefully
Again,
no
feels like
40
no
second
rockets
hold.
launching.
So as long as we don't have any last second things,
Oh
which do
boy,
happen.
oh boy. So I can't wait.
All right, flight director just confirmed T-minus 1 minute.
50 seconds. Oh, well, yeah, I can't wait.
Key moment to look
40.
at in 10 seconds. That
I have them a
T-minus
little
40.
quicker than you. Because I'm watching
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
SF.
matter. No second, no
30.
hold. No
And
holds.
we
We are
flew
good.
right through that.
Well, what
30?
do you expect of Starship now, honestly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not had a hold since what?
Flight director is
I don't
like
think we've had a hold since flight 2.
All right, we're
Yeah.
now T-minus 20 seconds
15.
until
20
liftoff.
seconds.
Fire
Starship
X looks
Flight
like it's on.
6. This will mark our
Deluge
second
any moment
attempt
now.
to catch the super heavy
Deluge
booster
activation.
at the
There
launch
we go.
tower, as well as
Oops. Well, there goes my alarm.
There we go. 5,
4,
4.
And liftoff.
Oh, hell yeah. Stop spoiling it for me.
This is
All
right
33
now.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, let's have it.
Left off, yep. Don't spoil it for me. Pretty
Like they're
please.
running. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm not gonna shut the fuck up.
Womp womp.
Yep. Left off, it's cleared the tower. It's way cleared
Vehicle
the
is
tower
pitching
since.
downrange.
But, yeah.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Oh, onboard cams. Hell yeah. Tiles are falling off. Oh boy.
Fuck.
Not too many, but I see some
Okay.
flying out. Oh, and the onboard cam is like getting cooked right now.
Booster and ship,
Starlink
avionics,
isn't
power,
doing
and
its
telemetry
job.
nominal.
Give it a break.
1
Yeah, I
minute
see a
into
few
flight.
tiles. The blade. The blade
We're
should be
just
fine.
a little over a minute into
Maximum
flight.
dynamic
We're
pressure.
about
Do they
Yeah, I
have the
kinda
miles
see
away,
that.
so
do
all
they
the
have
sound's
the
still hitting us here. Hear a
abrasive
good
whatever
call
the
out
fuck
says
layer on
power
it?
telemetry nominal. That's flying straight
I
and
believe
true. We
so
do
on the
see
most
all
critical
33
portions.
Raptor engines lit up on telemetry screens.
I mean, I
When
feel
we
like
pass through
tiles.
that point of maximum
I've
aerodynamic
talked
pressure,
before
that max Q.
about it so many times. I love how I'm talking about like there's no
Now,
launch
coming up
going on.
in just a little over
Um,
a minute from
that
now,
like I've
is
talked
gonna
I've
be
talked
hot
to some
staging.
people about
So
it,
we're
and
gonna
like
see
realistically, like some
the
people in
6
Marcus' house and
engines
talked
on
with
the ship
Marcus
ignite while
about it
still
too.
attached to the booster. Just before
Tiles
that, we
might not
see
be the
all
best
but
thing,
3 center
honestly. That
engines
might
of the
not work
booster
long
shut
term.
down.
Honestly,
And
And
what we call
they
the
probably will have to
abrasive
have something
the
underneath.
abrasive
main engine.
layer isn't gonna work long term because the
And so
refurbishment
while we
rate
can
is
Well,
gonna
I'm
be
talking.
significant.
I'm
flight
talking about
controllers
just the
looking at all
normal
the
tiles
systems
as
around the
well,
tower,
because they're
again,
gonna
we
have.
have to send
It's gonna be 5 flights
manual
with
command.
the normal ones until they will have to replace it at the current rate.
Just
Yeah,
about
but they'll
30
fix it
seconds away
eventually. I
from
mean, I
hot
hope.
staging.
I bet they'll get a system. If not, they just raw dog it with a cooled stainless steel.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Nah.
What happened, dude?
Launch happened.
So,
Yeah.
at least I've
Oh,
seen the lift part. Place on.
yeah. It's in the sky
And
right now. Still,
we heard the tower
So,
is go for catch.
we are go for
The
catch.
return
Oh,
flag is
hot
set for
staging
true.
soon. Mason, you should watch this. Ignition
please get
and
battle.
booster separation. And ship ignition went well.
All right, hot staging
And
confirmed.
boost
6
back
out of 6
startup.
lit on the
All
ship.
13
Boost
engines
back
are lit.
going. We heard that we are go for catch.
We are go for catch.
Kate, Jesse,
Hell
take in the
yeah.
views. Hopefully I got a booster coming home real soon.
From our view here,
Booster
Dan,
13 is a
great views of
little
planet
bit
Earth
different
behind
from its
that super heavy
siblings.
booster.
It has some weird
Right now,
vents
it is
on it.
performing the boost back burn. Good news there, telling us that the pressures inside the ship are good. That is the second stage or the upper portion of the vehicle. Follow along with the telemetry on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, booster is currently, a super heavy is currently in its boost back burn. This boost back burn. This boost back burn lasts just a little bit over a minute. So we've got a little,
shutdown.
approximately 30 seconds left.
We've had shutdown of that boost back burn. Next would be hot stage jettison.
All right, Daniel, what do you think about this?
The
How do you
view
think it's
from
going
the
so
camera
far?
on the left, or from the booster on the left-hand side of your screen, and then tracking cam there on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll see those grid fins.
Offshore diver.
And we can also see that the hot stage has been jettisoned.
Yes, visual confirmation of that there on your screen, which is great. Now the next
Starship is following a nominal trajectory.
Nominal trajectory.
The next
Do
step
you hear
for
that, Zim
booster
Zam?
is going into that landing burn. Again, it'll light up 13 of those engines and then pare down to 3 engines right before booster catch.
All right, now just real quick, we did hear the call out, boost back, or excuse me, booster offshore divert. Unfortunately, that means that we are no-go for the catch. As we said before, both the tower
catch
and the
tonight.
vehicle, as well as the operators on console, have been actively evaluating the commit criteria for that return to the launch tower. And unfortunately, we did not have a pass on those commit criteria. So we are no-go for
Damn, I'm
tower
pissed.
catch.
That's not fair.
And we did mention that we're constantly evaluating the criteria for catch. There's a lot of things that need to go well in order to line that up. Unfortunately, today we will forego booster catch today. But what you're seeing on your screen is ship currently making its way towards the Indian Ocean, still looking good so far.
Exactly. So views there of the booster on the left-hand side of your screen,
I'm
views
so
of the ship on the
pissed,
right-hand
man.
side of your screen. Now, we said before that it was not guaranteed that we would be able to make a tower catch today. So while we were hoping for it, like we said, it was pretty epic on attempt 1, but the safety of the teams and the public and the pad itself are paramount. So we are accepting no compromises in any of those areas.
RIP.
Exactly, and we're still going to get a lot of good flight data with booster even, but especially with ship. Again, we have an additional objective today to do an in-space relight of a Raptor engine, which again will help us set us up for being able to do
Man, I'm
deorbit
so
burns, which is
depressed.
which which is important for orbital flights. And
Do
what you're
you
seeing
think we'll
on your
have
screen is a view
views
from
the outside of
superheavy
splashdown? I
as
really
it's
want to
making
see
its
like
way
an
back
outside
down
view
to
of the
Earth.
booster, like
Yeah, once
tipping
again, we
over.
are attempting
Oh,
an
we do have outside
offshore
views.
landing of the Super Heavy booster. So we have seen this before, and it is
Oh,
still
boy.
very fun to watching it come down for a soft splashdown off the Gulf Coast of Texas.
Oh, fuck you,
You can
Booster
see it there
13. You're a little
re-entering.
bitch,
We
and
saw
I don't
earlier
like
those
you.
grid fins. There are 4 hypersonic grid fins.
Ignition.
Where we can see that the landing has begun. Super Heavy booster.
What I'm looking
The
forward
same
to see is a
pattern,
tip
13
over.
engines will
3
light.
engines.
Gone down to
And
3,
you
just
see-
as we expected. And what an incredible view of
Beautiful.
splashdown that we got today. Oh, super heavy.
I want to see
Yeah,
the explosion.
I'm sure the buoy cam views will be pretty awesome once
They
again.
cut off.
So
They
we'd like
cut
to
off the
confirm a
explosion.
water landing once again for the Super Heavy booster. Congrats to the SpaceX team for making that milestone as well. Now, ship continues to look good. We can
I'm
see
so pissed. This flight
that
sucks.
it is. While all of that was happening, the purple here in Hawthorne continuing to react to all these amazing
I'm probably just
views
gonna
that
play
we're
some
getting.
games and mute the
next
stream now,
milestone
because
is
Ship is in terminal guidance.
great
well,
news
after
there.
engine cut off.
Starship terminal guidance, referring to what we see here on our screen, the upper stage, at about 8 minutes 35 seconds or so, we have ship engine cutoff, which will be the cutoff of the Raptor engines.
All right, cut off on the vacuum engines.
We can see on our screen ship giving us some incredible views brought to us by Starlink. This view is also very interesting because we can see basically the receding tile line that we referred to earlier, where we mentioned we have removed a number of heat shield tiles in order to test out
If it doesn't
and push
survive
the envelope
re-entry, I'll
on the
cry
ship and
myself to
demonstrate
sleep
what
because of
its
how terrible this
capabilities are.
flight has gone already. And ship engine cut off.
And there we just heard call out for Seco, ship engine cutoff. Great news there. Everything continuing to look awesome for ship.
Full view looking aft on ship here.
Nominal orbit insertion.
There's that call out we were waiting for. Confirmation of good orbital insertion for ship today.
It has been a very exciting afternoon so far. We'd like to send it back over to Dan, who can give us that live view experience. Dan, once again, are you okay after witnessing another Starship launch?
No, I'm not okay because it didn't get
totally
caught.
fine. It's you guys have to be jealous. This is the only way to do this. This is fantastic. No, it was really cool to see a lift off 33 out of 33. Didn't go for the booster catch today. Initially, we were good, and then we tripped the commit criteria and did the offshore divert. So we went and did that water landing, as everybody saw. We'll dig into it a little bit more, but again, we've done it once, we've now done it twice. We're going to keep trying to do it, as this is just a core capability of Starship and what's going to make it so incredible. There's a lot left. We're just about almost 10 minutes into this flight, so about 50 plus minutes still to go. Ship nominal orbit, so it's on its way around the planet. It's going to attempt to do an in-space burn. We're going to light one of those Raptor engines, the sea level ones in the middle, just to help demonstrate that we can relight in that microgravity environment. Really critical for deorbit burns as we start to do some orbital missions in the not too distant future. And then following that, we'll see a ship entry,
I'm
maybe a
so
splashdown.
pissed,
As you guys said,
man.
we're really going to be pushing ship on this one. We're pretty much intentionally putting it in places where we expect it might not do so great. And all that's to try and help us learn, see if we were a little too conservative, and then maybe that opens up more capability for when we start catching it.
MJam, are you there?
I'll check back in with everybody in a little
Yes,
bit.
I am.
I'm gonna tune in
I'm
and watch the
pissed
ship
because they
fly
didn't
around
go
planet
for the
Earth,
landing
and hopefully
or
we
the
see it
catch. They
re-entering
just
in the not too
wanted to
distant
go into the
future.
ocean.
Back over to you guys.
Because, oh, something wasn't right.
Thanks, Dan. Development testing, by
They landed
definition,
just
is
fine in the
unpredictable,
ocean,
which we saw with
which
super
kind of
heavy
pissed me
splashing
off, to
down in
be
the Gulf of
honest.
Mexico today, but that is exactly why we
Landed
tested.
in the ocean.
As is standard for these tests,
Yeah,
the
they
area
landed in
around
the
the pad and
ocean,
along the
and it
flight
tipped
path
over,
was
and then it
cleared prior
exploded,
to
I think,
launch,
but
and
they
we
didn't show
expect
the
the road and
explosion.
beach to remain closed
So,
until further notice.
Yeah, testing
I'm
development
pissed
flight
about that. That's
hardware
the only
in
thing I
a
got
flight
excited for
environment is what
was the
enables our teams
explosion,
to
and I didn't
quickly
get to see
learn
the
and
explosion.
execute design
Fuck
changes
you,
and hardware
SpaceX.
updates to improve the probability of success in the future. Please do not attempt to approach the booster in the water for your safety as well as for that of our team that will be working on recovery. Now,
Wait, they're
we are
recovering
going
it.
to
It didn't
continue though. The
explode
mission
on
is
tip
not done.
over.
Exactly. The mission's not over. Ship is still coasting, but it has been nonstop since liftoff. And with the booster having completed its job for the day, we are going to take a short break for the next 35 minutes or so while ship continues to coast before reentry. Now,
Set
as
a
with
timer
previous
for
flights,
33
Starlink may enable
minutes.
us to talk to the ship through reentry with no communication blackout. Now, we are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, so nothing is completely certain.
Yeah, so if we do have views, we will be sure to bring those to you live. And of course, one of those views include that of our, as we said before, surprise payload, the banana. And we are looking forward to it. So we're going to come back in a few minutes, around T plus 35 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T
Yeah, I
plus
don't
40
care
minutes
for
for
this,
our
to be
coverage of
honest. I
Starship's
just hope
re-entry,
re-entry goes
flip
well.
maneuver, landing burn, and hopefully see a splashdown.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna share my screen. Alright. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, it's all silent now, Zim Zam. Fiend. 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 Um. Your mic sucks. I can't hear you. Do you want to
I
play?
wasn't talking.
Oh, do you want to play Gartic Phone?
Sherzies.
This has been the most boring flight so far. I mean, all the others were hype because we didn't really know what was going to happen next, but this time it performed below expectation, which actually kind of sucked. Alright, Jim Jam.
Oh my god.
Uh, I'm live streaming, so try to make it a little less inappropriate. Wait, let's see. Oh boy.
They're fire. Trust.
Mine's fire too. I made it a little weirdly
We thought of
shaped.
this. Awesome. Wait 1 second. Don't start the next one yet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I accidentally started it, but we should play Minecraft after.
We should. I just gotta find my controller. Yeah.
Oh my god, we are both brain rotted. I'm drawing Skibbity Toilet.
I didn't even say skibbity. I said swibbity.
Too bad I'm drawing Skibbity. Mine's a masterpiece. Junk. What the
Junk.
fuck? Do you want to play Roblox maybe then? That's fire,
You're
right?
goaded.
What the fuck is
Candace.
Ferb? Do you mean Ferb?
Firm. As in fiend.
I'm drawing Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. It's truly a masterpiece. My Phineas and Ferb is actually a masterpiece.
And viewers Candace.
Dude, I'm probably getting, like, my stream taken down at some point. Dude, my Phineas
It's
and Ferb is
whatever,
actually horrifying. My Ferb is horrifying. It's not Ferb. That's Fern.
I gotta leave the thing real quick. My phone's dying for some reason while it's on the charger, and I don't like it.
Womp womp. Join on something else.
I don't have anything.
Womp womp. I'm gonna play Minecraft.
I'll get on in a second. I gotta find my controller.
That's honestly fire. Ooh, it's on the dark side of the
For
earth
you.
now. You know, I want to show you something that's actually really fitting for what's happening right now. I'll join the world in a second. Are we added? Did we add each other?
Oh yeah, we got each other.
Yeah. Hey, what's your username, Mr. Zimzam? Yeah, the booster's like floating in the Gulf right now. I'm low-key surprised it even survived after tipping. Okay, what's your username, Mr. Zimzam?
Still trying to find my controller. I think my sister took it. I gotta go search
Well,
the
then talk
room.
to your sister, you little monkey boy.
You right.
You're right, you're right, you're right. Oh, no, damn it, no, I selected the wrong world. Selected the wrong world. I still need to fix this stuff. I selected the wrong world again. I'm gonna tweak. I'm tweaking. There we go. To anyone who's potentially watching, I need to fix the chopsticks. I think on this side.
What?
I kind of messed this up a lot. I low-key think I might have to reset it. Yeah, this is the tower after it went through a mutation and, like, died. Zim Zam, are you there? Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
not there. Oh, he's there. Okay, chat.
What? Why?
Why what?
My sister's full.
Your sister's a little silly, buddy.
One second, I'll join back in a second. I gotta do something.
Okay. Yeah, I fucked this up way too much. I don't think TNT works. Half of this shit's netherite. It's low-key kind of risky doing this. I fucked up. I fucked up real bad trying to raise these chopsticks. Like demolition, I guess. I don't know. Either way, this kind of sucks. I also need to fix these pillars because I messed that up too when placing the structure block. I like filled the blocks with air and shit. Oh boy. I know I'm good because I still have the chopsticks down here that I can copy-ish. I think this is fixed-ish. I know it's not really fixed, but I just gotta fix it, redo it, and then attempt to paste it again. Because I know all this stuff down here. This was the original height of the chopsticks, which you can tell is not the regular height. Oh. Well, I guess that's okay. I'm just gonna do this to be safe. You can see how horribly I placed this. I really messed up. I guess it's an easy fix besides having to destroy all of it. I mean, the destruction part isn't even that bad. It's like... No, that's actually the worst part of it. Besides doing, like, all the math and stuff to replace it.
And we are just about 35 minutes into today's flight test, continuing to get some live views from Starship itself as it continues to make its way around the globe. We are coming up on what we will hopefully see is our in-space relight demonstration.
Alright, let's
This
see
will be
this.
firing up one of those 3 sea level Raptors on the very aft end of the ship, and essentially reigniting it while we're in that microgravity environment in Earth orbit. We had attempted this once previously on Flight 3, but ended up skipping it when we had some attitude control issues with the ship.
Yep, S-28
we
did
are
a
on the
little
dark side of the
tumble.
planet right now, so views are going to be a little bit dark, but hopefully we see some engine light come on as we do this relight test. This
Oh, yeah?
is a pretty critical capability for doing deorbit burns. This is not a deorbit burn. want to stress that we're on a trajectory where if we didn't fire off the engine at all, we are definitely coming home. Ooh, seeing some thunderstorms down on the ground. That's pretty cool. But this is not a deorbit burn. If we didn't fire this engine, we're on a intentional suborbital trajectory. So no matter what, we're coming in over the Indian Ocean. Firing off the engine does change your exact splashdown point a little bit, but we've got this keep out zone across the entire Indian Ocean that we made sure was clear ahead of flight. And we continue to monitor during, but we're going to aim for that and hopefully see this relay test coming on in about a minute. It's just going to be one of these engines, and it uses what's called the header tanks, so these small spherical tanks in the very top of Starship, up in the nose cone. They don't require nearly as much gas to pressurize as your main tanks, so they're really useful for any in-orbit maneuvers.
Gotta love the Starlink watermark,
burn. So if
as if we don't already know.
Today we'll be using them for that as well. So we should be coming up in just about the next minute. Should be under a minute now away from that expected ship burn. And again, we've relit Raptors pretty frequently. We just did it with the landing burn and that boost back burn on the booster, and we've done it on ship landing burns. We just haven't done it in this microgravity environment where you're.
I'm not sure if it's going to be a day landing anymore, to be honest.
Different, as you're not way down the force of Earth's gravity.
Relight startup. Oh, it's on.
Just heard the call out for startup.
Oh wow! Oh, aft engine.
There's some light. There's that Raptor relit.
Aft views.
And shut down.
Yeah. Flat Earthers are gonna say that was a mouse or some shit.
Ever lighting a Raptor while in outer space, other than our ascent burn. So really cool to see that relit. That's a pretty critical capability that we're going to need when we're doing orbital missions in the not too distant future. So check another one off. That was a really cool. That was an objective we really wanted to hit on this one, and so good to see Ship knock that one out in orbit. But for now, we're going to coast for just a little bit longer, and then it'll be time for ship entry. So we'll get the usual light show as we return from hypersonic velocities. We're just starting to do the entry prep for that, so we're going to get the flaps positioned, and then it's going to start taking the brunt of all of that heat coming in. Well in excess of 10,000 miles an hour. That's all going to build up a lot of heat as you're encountering an increasing atmosphere, building up that friction. And we're going to see how the tiles fare. We've also got some pretty cool tile experiments that we'll talk about in a little bit. But coming up real soon, ship re-entry, successful relight, and we'll start this entry part soon.
Once I hear someone say, "Oh, look, it's starting to glow," I'll switch to the stream. And I got the goofy ass SpaceX music playing. I'm probably just gonna have to copy this again. It's alright. Okay, so this is all netherite, so I'm gonna have to like manually break this instead of using TNT. And check up on the stream. Oh yeah, it's starting to light up. Why did Microsoft Edge just open? I edged a Microsoft Edge. That red glow is hella cool. Still at 109 kilometers, so we still have a little bit till we pass the Kármán line. Oh, sitting in this chair is so uncomfortable. I've sat in here for the past hour or so. Ugh. Alright. I don't really see anything violent happening right now, to be honest. I'm gonna go pee if the ship has blown up by the. I'll actually just rewatch my stream while I go to the bathroom.
Starship is at 100 kilometers altitude. That's due to atmospheric entry.
I'm back. I just gotta say, holy camera views. That's crazy. And my balls hurt. Um, looks like a pretty calm re-entry. I don't see anything sparking and killing itself yet.
Welcome back to Starship 6 test flight. It has been an exciting day so far. We lifted off from Starbase at 4 p.m. Central Time. The Super Heavy booster and ship had a successful
Flaps are
separation as well as a
shiny.
good boost back burn
They better be
and good
shiny.
separation of the hot stage adapter.
Oh, it's
We
because
did
it is going
not
to be
attempt a return
a
to
day
the launch
landing.
site
It's
and
starting to get light
attempts
as we're
today
like
when
passing
strict
the
criteria
sunset
were not
faster,
met, and the Super
20
Heavy
times
booster
faster than the
executed
speed
a
of sound.
planned divert to a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, obviously we were hoping to come back to the tower, but this was a test and we knew that it was a very viable possibility.
Starship is at 85 kilometers. Flaps now have
95
control of the vehicle.
kilometers. I'm
All
pretty
right,
sure
great
he's
news there, turning our attention
Australian
over to the
because that's
star
kind of
of the
where
show
they're
here, giving
landing.
us these amazing
Ish.
views once again.
They
We heard
should
the call out there
definitely
telling us that
put
the
a landing
Starship
pad in
vehicle is
Australia.
now
That'd be
83
pretty cool
kilometers
for them to
above,
just like do a
coming
little
up
bit
around
further of a
T
trajectory and then
plus,
just land in Australia. That'd be kind of funny.
now actually the ship, as you can see, is beginning to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, one of the main goals of today's flight test is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of reentry and
Oh, I
to do
just
so
found
in a
super
controlled manner.
snaps.
Now,
They're like,
reentry
you know,
is
those little
typically a
pop
portion of
firework
flight where we don't
thingies,
have
but they're much more
communication
powerful and much more
capability
loud.
with the spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8
I don't know if I should
kilometers
throw
per
it in the room
second,
right now.
or
I mean, I'm in the
about
basement and it's
5
concrete
miles
floor.
per
Nothing's
second.
really
Now,
flammable,
at those
but
speeds, yep, pretty fast. The spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere rather quickly, and that results in friction, as we can see that starting to happen on our screen, and this creates a plasma field around the vehicle. That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequency, so it's not uncommon to experience
I
brief
threw it and it
blackouts
didn't
in
explode.
communication.
They might be really old though.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry.
Yeah,
And
that
we
was
just heard
loud.
we're getting into the peak heating phase. We're getting these views courtesy of Starlink. We've got 4 different terminals on the ship itself. It's what's really allowed us to get real-time data during what's otherwise been just a mystery
cool.
box, essentially, for spacecraft design, where when you're re-entering through the atmosphere, at least getting anything in
falling
real
off.
time hasn't ever been
Oh, it's a
possible
mouse.
before. But
It's a
we're able
mouse.
to not just get these views, but
Yeah, these are
real-time
daytime
telemetry
views.
from the
So
ship
we're
as
having a
it's coming
daytime
through.
splashdown.
Do really want to stress that we are really pushing the ship today. The heat shield is
We're
not
really
in
pushing
the
the
same
ship, yet the
configuration
views
as it
are
was
so
last
calm.
flight, where we had a team of ship techs do
It smells
just
smoky in
an
here now that I
otherworldly
popped that
task,
shit.
replacing
Ugh.
the entire heat shield, thousands of tiles,
Oh
installing a
no.
backup ablative, and that pretty much set us up to do a
I really shouldn't have
pinpoint
done that.
landing on Flight 5. We did not do that with this one. We have some backup in those really sensitive areas around the flat, but this is an older generation heat shield. And knowing we weren't going to do that, we even went and removed some extra tiles. There are some missing tiles on the nose cone where we're testing some backups. There are some steel-covered tiles in a couple of different spots, and there's also a whole lot more steel of the ship showing. As you guys talked about, we gave it a little bit of a haircut, a couple hundred tiles trimmed off the sides, and that's where we
You
might
gotta be
have test
shitting me.
fittings
There's
in the
no way.
future. But ooh, color's starting to come in. So it looks like things are going to start heating up, Kate and Jesse.
Yeah,
Oh
fun
no.
fact, Dan, we actually removed 2,100 heat shield tiles from Starship in order to
2100?
basically present that necessary receding line, which you kind of can see there in
No,
your view.
no, no, no,
Think
no,
back to
no, no, no,
previous
no.
flights,
Never do that again,
the heat
SpaceX.
shield line came up
I'm not as
further
confident
on the
anymore.
vehicle, and just like Dan said, we want to
no.
test the
They
vehicle
really had to say it
beyond
just as it
what we
started
think
getting
it is
like a
capable
little
of
crazy.
carrying based on our simulations and calculations. So once again, to just be super plain, don't be surprised if we see some wackadoodle stuff happen here.
Wackadoodle stuff.
We won't be. There are a number of things that we are testing out intentionally to see what the ship can take.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing what those limits are will really help us design the vehicle of the future. Essentially, removing those
Of the
tiles helps us
future.
remove a lot of weight from the vehicle, a lot of things that might potentially need refurbishment in the future. And the goal is to come up with a heat shield pattern or design that we don't have to refurbish. We can just continue to use it over and over again. And that's why we're changing some of those tiles and moving stuff around, removing a lot of those tiles, as Kate has been mentioning.
Exactly. And, looking forward to the Starship capability of the future, we want to be able to catch Starship like we do with boosters. And so the next flight, we want to better understand where we can install catch hardware, not necessarily to actually do the catch, but to see how that hardware holds up in those spots. And today's flight will help inform, does the stainless steel hold up like we think it may based on experiments that we conducted on Flight 5? Now, continuing to look, amazing views. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's so much on this flight that we're doing to try and make all the ships that we're about to start flying even better. Just really understand what their capabilities are going to be. We've got kind of the next gen ship lined up for Flight 7. It's got all of those heat shield upgrades and everything.
S-33.
And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's most interesting, and one of the reasons we wanted daylight, is we're going to be flying
Probably gonna
pretty
turn on my
aggressively
Xbox and
as
play
ship
No Man's
comes
Sky.
in.
In
We're
fact,
going to
I
be
just
timing
said,
those
and
down.
I just turned it on.
And
Yeah.
we've done it in wind tunnels. We've done it in simulations. You might see the flaps really flapping around trying to control the vehicle.
Oh
We're
boy.
betting we might have a little bit more capability than we think in just the analysis, but always a chance that bet doesn't pay off. But that just helps us know, like, what are our
Starship is
limits.
now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Sweet, halfway there, halfway home.
Now
Guys.
we've seen my cable connected. Did it like?
Yeah, and if you guys again can follow along with the altitude and the speed of ship as it's making its way back down to Earth, bottom right-hand corner of your
There we go.
screen. Speed is still going really, really fast. Again, as it gets closer to Earth, we'll see that altitude drop a little bit
And
faster. It's
I
kind of
don't have
dropping pretty
Wi-Fi
slow right
hooked up to
now.
my Xbox.
And again, as we get closer and closer to literally the surface of the water, then we'll start to see that speed pick up. And if we can make it through this re-entry,
And it's starting
we
to
will
heat up. The
attempt to do
metal's
that
heating
flip
up.
maneuver once again and splash down in the ocean.
Exactly. Like we've been saying, we are testing beyond the perceived limits of the vehicle. We want to go learn more about the ship, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So really pushing the flight hardware in a flight environment to help inform these future designs. As we've mentioned, it has a different heat
There's
shield.
literally
This heat
nothing I
shield
can connect
is
to on my Xbox. There's no internet.
not the same generation as what we flew last time. This one is one generation older. So we are also testing out new secondary thermal protection materials. So basically, like, if the heat shield isn't in this one spot, can this other material protect the metal is the thinking there. Also checking of the ship's structural strength in those areas where we're looking to add that ship catch
I can't
hardware
play KSP.
just to see if it survives
For
entry.
this game, you need to be
So
online.
yeah, as we've been saying, we've done a lot of calculations and simulations. This view right here is super cool. This is looking
This is epic.
out from
It looks very
the
violent.
aft engine bay, basically at the bottom of Starship. Then on the center left-hand panel, if you will, we have one of the forward Starship flaps, so one of the flaps located at the top of the vehicle. Underneath that is one of the aft end flaps,
I'm gonna
like the
reset
one that
my
we see in the
Xbox.
main picture there on the right-hand side of your screen. Now,
Oh,
these
we can see
views
the
as
ground.
the vehicle continues to enter the Earth's atmosphere, drawing a crowd once
It's
again
moving
here
so
at
fast.
SpaceX and Hawthorne as folks tune in as the mission continues on. Now, the next event that we have coming up,
It's green.
we should hear
Green
the call
fire.
out that the vehicle is transonic around T plus 1 hour and 2 minutes or so. That means that the vehicle
We have
is
5
traveling
minutes and 30
near
seconds
the
to
speed
go
of sound.
till
We say
we
near the speed of sound because
don't
there are
die.
certain parts of the vehicle where airflow is going faster and other parts where it's going slower.
I
So
have
it kind of
confidence. It's made it
teeters there on the brink
pretty far.
of the speed of sound. So
Oh,
Once
Starship
we
turned
have
blue
equal
because
flow on all
Starlink
parts,
started
then we'll hear
tweaking.
it's subsonic.
Yeah, and
And almost real quick, almost a reverse of. I'm sorry, Jesse. Almost a reverse of before. We see the Earth starting to come into view. We've got sunrise there over the Indian Ocean. So this is going to look different from any of the re-entries we've had before. And it was
Oh yeah.
specifically so like we get as much daylight as possible to see how ship does this. Over to you, Jesse. Sorry about that.
Dan, you great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was going to point out. Is that we're getting a lot clearer view
It's
of the
literally
Earth in the
dark
background with
outside right
the
now.
different temperatures that we're seeing with the different colors of that plasma around the ship, which is really really cool to see.
Very
Again,
pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty,
we
pretty.
are pushing the limits of ship today, but so far everything is looking pretty nominal. We'll see how the next few minutes goes.
Yeah, like we've said before, don't be surprised if this is not entirely smooth sailing all the way down to the ocean surface. Similar to Flight 5, we are targeting
My
the same
Xbox just
splashdown
reset.
location
Let's see
in the Indian Ocean,
if I can try
but
and
we are
connect to the
not
internet this time.
expecting to recover the vehicle.
Right, and we were getting some glimpses of the flaps. The flaps so far are looking pretty good. We're not seeing
I am
any burn
connected.
through. There's those flaps again in that hinge area, which is our most concerning area there. That's great news for us for now. Again, the next few minutes could
Everything's
change
been
as we
going smooth
continuously push
enough,
those
I
limits.
think. I haven't really seen any
Yeah,
like
once we slow down a little bit, once we're subsonic essentially, so I think that's about 1,200 kilometers an hour. Once we're down below that, that's when we're going to kind of dip our nose down and get that more aggressive angle of attack. Normally, we're just belly flop right into the water, pretty much that position. But if we're going to be able to do return to launch sites, we're going to want to be able to fly with a little bit more of an angle of
if
attack,
they're not
get you a
gonna
little
do a
bit more
flip
range
maneuver, I
as
will
you're
start
coming
tweaking if
through.
they don't.
And so this'll be just a test to see quite how far can we push it. But obviously we're going to do these kind of tests way out here in super remote areas before you ever try to bring a ship back to a place like Starbase.
Starship remains on a good entry trajectory. External temperatures are coming down.
Oh, external temperatures are coming down. That
All
means
right,
it's
great news
living.
there. That tells us that we are through the phase
You
of
see
peak
that? That looks like a
heating.
huge
So we are
dent.
expecting
Whoa,
these
that's like a
temperatures to
huge
continue
dent
to
in the
come
side of the
down.
ship.
Once again, we are
The ship,
targeting
like,
a soft splashdown
warped.
in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
Around the
Better
off
view
the
here. You see that?
northwest coast
That's so
of,
weird.
of
I've never
Australia.
seen
We
it like
can
that.
see these beautiful views of planet Earth coming in. Yeah, this is very different where we had nighttime views of the ship as it was re-entering, and now we've got daylight. It is about an hour or so after sunrise there in the Indian Ocean, so pretty cool to see this.
Yeah, and it might not seem like it makes a huge difference, but we do get a little bit more light on ship as well for the camera views that we have,
A little
which
bit
is
more.
very beneficial for us to visually
Yeah, okay,
see
buddy.
anything and try and correlate that to any of the sensors or data that we have on the vehicle.
Exactly. That is why we shifted our launch window so that we could have that daylight in order to improve our observations of the vehicle. So not only are we getting all the raw data from all the sensors that are on board
No man's
Starship, but
sky.
we also have multiple cameras and assets out there that are
My
watching the
laptop
vehicle
can't
and will
run
also be able
like
to tell
any
us
sort
with
of
this visual
game
story that is also very, very important.
besides Minecraft and Roblox. I'm pretty
And
sure that's
as we
like
get
the only
down a
game
little
it can
bit
run.
lower, the Raptor engines are in their chill phase right now, so
Yep.
just essentially getting them primed to turn on. We're going to use those three
Yeah,
center
why
engines
does the ship look
to
so
do a landing
warped?
flip and then a landing burn.
Look, you
So
can see
we'll
like
come down
the
kind of
burn,
in
like
that
the
slightly pointed down belly
discoloration,
flop and then
like
fire off those
rainbow,
engines
like
to flip
oil
us
on water.
around and then do that final landing burn. That should
That's
be coming up
so
in just a little
weird.
over, just under 5
I don't
minutes
know
from
why the
now.
ship would warp
And
like
then
that,
hopefully we start hearing some call outs on transonic and
but it
subsonic
did,
as we slow down. Again,
and
once
it lived,
once you
which
hear
is
Starship
great.
as subsonic, keep a close eye on the flaps. They're going to be working overtime essentially to maintain control of the ship as we get a little more aggressive with this.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
We can see that we are beginning.
Starship has passed maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right,
Oh,
great call
God,
out there.
no.
But we can see on this view here that we
What
do
the
have some
fuck?
heating there on that looks like one of the forward flaps on Starship. This
It's
is
cooling down,
to
but
be expected.
oh Jesus
We
Christ,
knew
it's a
that
hole.
the
It's a
vehicle
gaping. It's a
would
huge
perform
gaping
differently
hole.
than what we
Better
had
than
seen on Flight 5. This is
S29s
actually
though.
really good data because it tells us what parts of the vehicle at this, what will soon be a higher angle of attack once we drop down below the speed of sound. We'll have a higher angle of attack, meaning we're going to be flying nose down, basically. So yeah, this is good news, but we can actually, looks like that heating is starting to cool off there.
Yeah, it's a little burn through. Again, it is important to note when
That's
we start
horrific.
seeing that
It shouldn't be burnt
through
through
the
like
ship's
that.
descent as well. So like Kate was saying, we're getting some really good data here. Looks like the other flaps are doing a little better than the one that has a little burn through, which is some good news. Again, constantly watching. We've got a couple minutes until we're expecting to make it all the way back down to Earth.
Exactly. And like we said before, we are not expecting to recover the ship, although that would be great. That'd be a nice bonus if it happened, but it's not really in our expectations today.
You're not
we really
recovering
want
the
to
ship.
push the
It's in
hardware,
the
as we've
Indian
been
Ocean,
saying,
and it'll probably
but
tip
really
over.
the telemetry and the data
Seeing how
and the
crippled
video that we
the
receive
payload
all the
bay
way
looks.
to the end is truly what
That
we're
looks
looking for and
folded.
will help inform the future designs of this vehicle.
We could see some flap movement as the camera is moving around. That's what you're seeing there is the flaps adjusting. We have a camera on one of the flaps there this is the view that
they're
you're seeing
pretty
there.
much in free fall now. Oh, they're tilting.
And you can
Hell
also
yeah.
see the graphic in the bottom.
Starship is slowing down past Mach 1.
And call outs aligning with this. You can see the orientation of the
They are in
vehicle
free
starting
fall.
to change. You can follow that graphic at the bottom
Can
of your
the man's
screen.
sky load already? I'm
Again,
still
that
like
is why
flying
those
past
flaps
a
are
fucking
changing.
bunch
They
of
control
stars.
the orientation of the vehicle.
It's annoying, to be honest.
Yeah, there are
Yeah,
four.
this is.
Go ahead, Dan.
Starship has started the subsonic belly flop, remains on a good trajectory.
I was gonna say this is when things will start to get a little interesting. So this is when we're moving slower than the speed of sound. You can see that nose slowly start to tip down.
That looks so
And
cool.
we're gonna try and maintain flap control the whole way, but we are just a couple minutes away from hopefully doing a landing flip and landing burn if the flaps can hold together.
Yeah, this is such a cool view. This reminds me of when we first performed the
I feel
belly
like the
flop
ship's gonna
maneuver on
splash
the high
down before
altitude
No Man's
test with
Sky
serial
loads.
number
Oh, spoke
8.
too soon. No
We
Man's Sky
saw
just loaded.
the ship come back through, and I always wondered what it looked like from the ship's perspective, and this perspective, I think, helps inform that. We will be, as Dan said, we will be dipping down a little further and really be flying nose first. This higher angle of attack, we're intentionally doing it to stress those aft flaps, and that will help inform the limits of flap control in order to collect data for future landing profiles.
Yeah, I'm building a base right now.
I mean, we're looking
about to go
good
through the
so far.
clouds.
We've just got about 5 kilometers in altitude to go. We'll ignite the engines when we're still just a couple hundred meters over the ground, do that flip
Starship
and
is
landing.
passing through 5 kilometers altitude, remains on a good trajectory.
I have a feeling this is
All
going
right,
to
we're
look
going through the
so
clouds.
cool
I just put my
as it
controller
passes through
down.
the clouds.
Okay. Oh boy.
Obligatory shout out to the entire avionics team on Starship.
Holy shit.
And there's that nose down orientation.
Dude, this is wild. We just went through the upper
Now
clouds. We're gonna go through the lower clouds
Raptor
now.
engines will relight and help flip the booster back up. This is a more severe flip given the orientation. The engines will shut down prior to the water making impact and prior to the vehicle.
I wonder if
making
it's gonna
impact
pull an
with the water.
S-28. That'd be funny.
Our ship is doing great so far.
All right, there's the ocean. Flip, flip,
There's
flip,
three
flip,
lighting.
flip, 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 flip.
What a
Oh, they did
great
it. They did it. They did it.
reorientation by Starship.
Okay, buoy cam. We have buoy cam.
All three down
Holy
to 2.
shit! No
Into the
way.
water.
That's so badass.
Starship is landed.
No way.
Wow. We have ship splashed in the Indian Ocean.
Holy shit, they have another movie cam.
Awesome movie cam.
And there wasn't an
action
explosion, which is surprising
Take a
compared to
look.
Oh! Yeah, the entire nose cone
Incredible.
separated
We
from the
really
ship. I
pushed the
saw
limits
that.
on ship and it made it all the way back down to Earth.
I
I called it. I
shocked,
knew
to be
it.
honest. I think many folks are. The fact that it survived all the way through while flying a lesser gen heat shield is just absolutely incredible. And turns out the vehicle had more capability than our calculations predicted. And that is why we test like we fly.
Exactly why we do that. And those
Yeah,
views
hold on a second.
were absolutely incredible to watch. Because of Starlink, we were able to get the views all the way down, as well as the buoys, seeing ship touchdown in daylight.
So cool. So cool. Now we want to, unfortunately, wrap up the show.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say congratulations to our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Yeah, the fucking Australian, the Aussies have a space agency.
Hey guys, I could take it from
I
here.
have to do that awkward ass smile, and I feel so bad.
Splashdown. As you said, thanks to everybody that took such a huge part in this. Everybody here at Starbase that's worked on this program, just really pouring your lives into it. Great to see another booster lift off. We'll catch it the next time. Great to see ship in the water. New version of ship coming soon, so a lot more excited launches coming up real soon here from Starbase. But I'll send us out this time. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, they really should have showed the inside of the cargo bay because I wanted to see the banana for the last
Dan.
time.
Be sure to
unless
follow
it exploded.
SpaceX on X for updates and more exciting views that we weren't able to feature on today's broadcast.
I'm sure there will be plenty of those. Now, thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.